Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and happy Bookmas Day 3. But before I open the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. So Bookmas Day 3, we are going to go over the holiday reading TBR. Is it mostly holiday romances? Yes. Are most of them very cheesy and cutesy and probably just pure fluff? Absolutely. But this year I have made it a goal to diversify some of the holiday reads to give you a little more. So there's a little dark romance, there's a little thriller. Just the ones that I know for sure on my radar, but other ones could pop up and replace these, or I may just not be able to get to all of them. But I do have 2 holiday reading vlogs planned for y'all to see, so hopefully we can get through a lot of fun, cheesy holiday reads. I own 4 of these physically, and then the other 4 I don't own yet, but I'm probably going to at some point either buy them or get them on Kindle. So without further ado, let's hop into my holiday TBR. First up, we have a YA holiday read, because these are far and few between. I feel like in holiday romance recommendations, I feel like they all fall under adult romance, and there are some cutesy holiday romances out there in the YA section. This is Flopping in a Winter Wonderland by Jason June. If you don't know anything, he is one of my favorite authors. He wrote Jay's Gay Agenda and Out of the Blue, which I've read, and I still have other books of his on my TBR. But he does tend to write some very cutesy, very funny, very just like lighthearted, quirky little queer romances, and I imagine this is going to be nothing less. So the blurb says, all Aaron wants for Christmas is for his brother, Casey, to get over his ex, Raquel. He'd prefer not to be at Winter Wonderland, the island north of Alaska that's home to a year-round Christmas theme park. But Casey loves Christmas, so here they are. Unfortunately for Aaron, Casey is determined to do anything to win Raquel back. All Chris wants for Christmas is for his uncle to move back to Winter Wonderland to be the first gay Santa. To make that happen, Chris needs to win the race, his grades annual competition to see who can get a guest to fall in love with them first. Winning means a trip to New York where Chris would be able to plead his uncle's case to the founder of Winter Wonderland himself. After some slippery ice sends Aaron and Chris literally flopping into each other, Chris agrees to help Aaron with his plan to keep Casey single. But in all of their scheming, both can't stop thinking about kissing the other, and it's not just because of the mistletoe around every corner. Too bad true love isn't on either of their Christmas lists. This adorable rom-com from best-selling author Jason June unwraps the healing power of love and the magic of the Christmas season. I don't know if there's anything else to say other than that sounds very cutesy, and you know I love myself a little fake dating plot. Then we have Good Spirits by B.K. Boris, and Love Light Farms took over the holiday season a couple years ago, and this one seems to be taking over this holiday season. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it, and I love B.K. Borison's writing. Now, I didn't read her other release this year, First Time Caller, just yet, but this is the second release she gave us, and what can I say? She just knows how to give us a little winter, Christmassy holiday romance, and this one falls in that little fantasy romance category. So the back says, he's the ghost of Christmas past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas past, Nolan Callahan intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. A people pleaser to her core, she always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover there are threads that bind them together, and realize there might be more to moving on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures in each other's past, or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected, spirited connection? Well, the cover is cutesy, the sprayed edges are cutesy, and it just sounds like it's going to be a grand old time, and a little bit of play on the Christmas Carol, which should give all the holiday vibes. I don't know which one I want to read first. This one and Love in Winter Wonderland are like top of the list priority, so we'll see which one I get to first, but you'll see them in a vlog some point. Next up, we have a holiday thriller that's apparently like only an hour-long audiobook, so it sounds like it's going to be a quick, easy read to add to the list, and I don't think I've ever really read a Christmas thriller situation, but that is The Gift by Frida McFadden. Now, I haven't read any Frida McFadden before. I've heard that her work is relatively easily digestible, so I think it'll be pretty quick. And from what I understand, this is a playoff or a retelling of The Gift of the Magi. So according to the description, it says, it's Christmas Eve and Stella Hansen is broke. She is so broke that despite working 2 jobs, she can't even afford a present for her husband on their first Christmas as man and wife. But then a mysterious storekeeper at a pawn shop offers Stella an intriguing trade. Stella wants more than anything to buy her husband the Christmas gift of his dreams, but will it come at a terrible price? So a little Christmas thriller, Christmas horror, get us a little spooked up. For the Christmas, it sounds like a fun little ride. Plus, if it's like only an hour audiobook, it's probably like a sitting and baking like one sitting situation. So we'll see how she shakes out. Then we have the first Timothy Janowski book on this little holiday TBR. He has 3 holiday romances, one that came out before this one, and then his most recent release, which I do want to get to and I'll talk about in this video, but this is the one that I already own physically that I got last year, so this is like the top priority from him, and that is the Merriest Mister. So if you don't know anything about Timothy Janowski, another one of my favorite queer authors, he has some very cutesy, very heartwarming books that he's put out. He usually likes to address mental health in some form or fashion in his books, so I imagine that will be there. And as he's been writing further and further, he's gotten a little filthier and filthier. So I'm expecting nothing less. The back of this says, Patrick Hargrave and Quinn Muller have been married for less than a year, but their once passionate romance is cracking under the pressures of domestic life and a cumbersome mortgage. That's until Christmas Eve when Patrick wakes Quinn up with a confession, I think I killed a man. A what? Oh, okay. Quinn realizes the burglar Patrick knocked out is none other than Mr. Claus himself. Instructed by a harried elf to don the enchanted cloak and take up the reins of the reindeer-guided sleigh on the roof, Quinn and Patrick save Christmas, but as the sun rises the next morning, the sleigh brings them back to the North Pole instead of New Jersey, and they're in for a massive shock. The couple must assume the roles of Santa Claus, and the first ever Merriest Mister or Christmas will be canceled permanently. With Christmas and their marriage on the line, Patrick and Quinn agree to stay together for one more year. Can running a toy shop together save their relationship, or will Patrick and Quinn be stuffing coal in each other's stockings come next Christmas? I did not know the plot of this. We're getting a little like queer the Santa Claus situation, a little marriage and trouble. I haven't really read any marriage and troubles before. Yes, sign me up. Sign me up. I think this is a little different because I don't think we've ever gotten like a little like fantastical story from Timothy before. Okay, definitely excited to read that one. Next up we have Hannah Grace's newest release, and that is Holiday Ever After. I do believe this is her first book that she's released, or her first full-length novel that she's released since the Maple Hill series ended. At least I'm pretty sure Daydream was the last book we're getting in that series, unless, I don't know. But this is the new one. I don't know if it's a start of a new series or what, but I do know that I really enjoyed the Maple Hill series, and you know what? I'm expecting some fun times. The description of this book says, all Clara Davenport has ever wanted to do is climb the ladder at Davenport Innovation Creative, her family's toy business. Everything was going according to plan until the company was accused of stealing a doll design from an independent toy maker, creating a flurry of bad publicity. With her promotion dangled in front of her like a carrot to a reindeer, Clara is tasked with charming the locals of the small town to solve the PR nightmare by any means necessary. Jack Kelly would be happy to never hear the name Davenport ever again. Less than a year after a guy in a fancy suit appeared on his doorstep with a sleigh full of promises, the company that once falsely claimed they wanted to sign him to their small business program has copied his design. So when Clara prances into town hoping to convince Fraser Falls that her company is not the enemy, Jack is determined not to be fooled by a Davenport twice. But Clara has a plan to win over the community, only to realize that beneath Jack's frosty demeanor lies the key to the town's heart and maybe her own. Now, I will say this is giving very much so corporate, a successful woman gives up her like success for a small town boy. I don't know if that's how it's going to play out, if that's going to be a Hallmark trope that plays out. I really hope it doesn't, because that's sort of how it played out in If It Makes You Happy, which was like the fall romance of the season, and this one is one of those like the big hyped up holiday romances season. I don't know. Plus, I don't know if you can get me to buy into like evil corporate America is not as evil as one believes. But if Hannah Grace can write anything, I'm sure we'll see if she can convince me. Then we have our next Timothy Janowski Christmas book. This is the one that he released this year. Now, I probably will buy a physical copy of it just because I want to own all Timothy Janowski books that I can get my hands on, but I just don't have one yet. And that's called A Mannequin for Christmas. And the blurb for this says, a Christmas romance for Barbie fans who wish Ken and Alan got their own love story. I don't know which of the Kens we're thinking of, but we all know Barbie is on the fruity side. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. Henry Astor swears he is unlucky when it comes to love. He thought he'd finally found the one, but a sudden breakup has left him hopeless right before the holiday season. Facing another family Christmas alone, Henry makes a wish for the perfect man. The next morning, when he arrives at the Jersey Shore vintage shop he manages, he finds one of the male display mannequins has sprung to life and entirely wrecked the place. The magic man is gorgeous, of course, but he comes with a Cinderella-style caveat. If he doesn't experience true human love before the midnight chime on New Year's Eve, he will turn back into a mannequin for good. Now, Henry doesn't have to show up to family Christmas alone. The catch, this new man, self-named Aiden Smith, knows nothing about being a human. Henry has 1 month to teach Aiden how to be a functioning person in the modern world and the swoony boyfriend that will win over his entire family. It's an arduous task that draws them close together, but can human love ever really be true? Oh, I don't know what it's called, but like the Life Size, I think that's the movie Life Size. It's giving a bit of that. It's giving a bit of that during the holiday season. I'm not surprised if that's what comes our way, but she's cutesy. I'm loving these little, like, him dipping a little bit into that, like, fantastical, like, magical realism section. So then we have Love in a Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bellu, and this one seems like it's going to be for our bookish girlies just because it takes place in a bookstore. This is another YA holiday romance if you're looking for YA holidays. It states, charming, handsome Trey Anderson is struggling to balance the pressures of school popularity with a job at his family's local bookshop, Wonderland. Quirky, creative Ariel Spencer needs tuition for the art program of her dreams, and an opening at Wonderland is the answer. When Trey and Ariel learn that Wonderland is on the brink of being shut down by a neighborhood gentrifier, they team up to stop the doors from closing before the Christmas Eve deadline, and embark on a hate-to-love journey that will change them forever. Heartwarming and romantic, this read is the gift that keeps on giving, no matter the season. Well, you know, I love a good rivals to lovers taking down the man, small town romance situation. It sounds like it's going to be a fun time, but it also sounds like it's going to address some hard-hitting topics. So I'm curious to see how their romance plays out. I wonder what makes them rivals, like what makes them not like each other. And also, I feel like the name of the bookstore being Wonderland, come on. I mean, it's already given the cheese. It's always giving the cutesy. Now, this one is a last-minute addition to this list just because a Christmas dark romance. I'm not sure about her. There are lots of spicy, Christmas filthy, like erotic novellas out there, and I have recommended a few in my last video, which was holiday book recommendations. But this one we have a Christmas dark romance, and it's he sees you when you're sleeping, and then there's a second book to the series, He Knows When You're Awake. I think I'll have them on the screen, but it's a little like dark romance Christmas duology, and I'm just gonna like read what this blurb says because I'm not quite sure what it's about, but it's short and it's something new to the holiday romance sphere that I haven't read, and y'all know I've read a lot. I've read quite a few. The description says, why choose between naughty or nice in this steamy, suspenseful, Christmas-themed stalker romance that's perfect for dark romance readers seeking a spicy, festive read? Well, I think stalker romance is first that came in mind when it says he sees you when you're sleeping, which is very much so out of context a very creepy phrase. It's a night before Christmas and I'm alone in the house. Popular jewelry influencer Chloe Hallman is steeling herself to spend another holiday on her own. Instead, she finds herself drawn to two different guys. A smoldering hot fan of her secret seductive online persona and a sexy fireman named Jack who looks out for her in their New York City neighborhood. Okay, any 911 fans getting hot firemen? Is it going to be, I mean, it seems like it's going to be a why choose situation. She has no idea that I know her better than she knows herself. Her deepest secrets, her darkest desires. She's careful, but I've been watching, never leaving footprints in the snow outside her home. Jack was the first responder to the accident, stole a beautiful young woman's family 2 Christmases ago, and he's been quietly guarding her ever since. When Jack uncovers Chloe's secret account, his obsession only grows, but he and Chloe are drawn to the darkness that mirrors their own. She's my Christmas wish come true, and I'm hers. She just doesn't know it yet. Will Chloe's Christmas be a tale of fiery passion or a dangerous game with a man whose love knows no bound? I'm so, oh no. You had me at fireman. You had me. I just know there's some things. Hopefully it's not like super creepy. I don't know. I don't like dislike the dark romance genre. It's just that it's never like something that automatically draws me to it. But yeah, she's a 2-parter that sounds very interesting, but she's also the last book that we've added onto our holiday TBR. So I guess that gives 9. I'm sure I could have found a 10th book to give it a more even number, But you know what? She will figure it out when we get to the actual reading portion of things. Let me know what you're excited to read this holiday season. Are you going to pick up some of the books I recommended or some of the same books that are on my holiday TBR? And I will see y'all in the next one.